So white genocide's back in the news. Everybody's sticking up for the poor, oppressed, minority. That is the Boers. And you know me, I'm always on Twitter in the trenches. I'm doing really significant ideological work, arguing with the dumbest possible people on Twitter. Um, and a lot of their responses to the EFF, kill the Boer situation is kind of illuminating, or at least I was struck by an illuminating thought looking at it, in terms of how people relate to historical guilt, which, you know, if you hear the conservatives tell it, that's kind of the animating force of the wokeism. Too much white guilt, too much, feel bad about the past. Hilariously, a lot of those freedom fighters in the comments were bringing up slavery as as like a gotcha. The South Africans shouldn't have sold their own into slavery, which is pretty funny. But slavery, obviously, as an American, that's the big historical guilt thing that people feel, and I think that whole thing is just kind of a misnomer. I feel like people conflate feelings of historical guilt versus historical shame. I think there is kind of a maybe not significant, but there's a meaningful distinction between the two. Guilt, again, to me, kind of implies more of a call to action. If you feel guilty, you did something to somebody. Ostensibly, you can ameliorate it. You can somewhat improve the situation. Whereas with shame, historical shame, national shame, however you kind of want to put that, that's just something bad that happened, something regrettable that happened that you don't want to happen again. So, American slavery, that is, that's a shameful thing, especially considering, the principles the country was supposedly founded on. It was bad, but obviously, not still systemically enslaving people in this country. What you can feel historical guilt for is, Jim Crow and the various laws that have warped and morphed into the current system of white supremacy. That's kind of the white guilt that people feel. Is like, oh hey, these systems that go back to the end of the Civil War and the establishment of all these laws to criminalize black people and exploit their labor, they're still around in one form or another. But that is probably cynically by at least the conservative talking heads conflated with slavery as a whole, and then you just kind of get bogged down in a debate about everybody did slavery. Slavery's all over the world. Africans are still doing slavery, actually. So gotcha there, liberal. That kind of stuff, which is just a big waste of time. Obviously, the most significant would probably be like Nazi Germany. Historical shame about that. Although that's kind of done on more of an institutional level in Germany, and rightfully so. I mean, America should probably do the same thing for slavery, honestly, instead of teaching the upsides. What are the benefits of slavery? And with the South Africa thing, that is definitely a case of national guilt that the Boer population, or the white population in general, I guess, should have, because apartheid was in living memory for the majority of South Africans. This is, and then obviously all of the fucking insane, uh, inequality statistics of white people owning like 70% of the farmland and that kind of stuff. Which is why you still have such, violent rhetoric. Oh my God, shoot the Boer. This kind of stuff. Wow. That's so violent and crazy. But, I mean, as a historical song ruled by South African court, not hate speech, all right, haters, back off Malema, all right, he's the GOAT. But the reason that people use such heated rhetoric, even if they're not actually calling for genocide, is because those are fucking fresh wounds. Like, those are still healing for a lot of people, or they have generational. Well, everybody in South Africa has generational trauma from apartheid. So yeah, it's just kind of asinine to conflate it to all these different things and obfuscate the actual issues at hand with these kind of word games about shame and guilt in the past and that kind of thing. I don't know if that was actually insightful at all, but fuck you.